Turn that down, please.
Okay, so welcome to our last meeting of 2024. So it's a real exciting time. We have so much really great news. We welcome Joe Hill. Joe, we saw you on before, but if you say something, you'll be on the screen.
Hello. Nice to be here.
Oh, all right. And so in the informal meet and greet, we said, Joe came to Army Air Force and everybody was so lovely. She just wanted to be with us. And so, Joe, so thank you so much for being Assistant C2. Nancy and Lynn, thanks for giving her the great second reg welcome. And this is welcome to the whole group. I also want to say this is just an overview, but we are going to say congratulations to the fourth quarter winners of the volunteer backpacks. It's our C4 ladies, and you'll see their picture in a minute. And also a shout out to Susan Luther and Bobby Pridgeon.
And Pam.
Everything was decorated. People had information. They had name tags. We chased down cadets, and it was really a fun time. But you guys, you just set it up and people showed up, and I appreciate all of you. We're going to hit some highlights. We have some connection commitments that we're going to talk about tonight, just a few minutes about the connection series, the outreach, and the QOL, quick brief. Then we'll go quickly to breakouts. In the breakout, I do have a couple of questions for the regimental leaders, and that's about our Zoom open house, and I have some dates there. And then after you see the connection series, if you have some ideas about that. So that's a couple of topics. You'll come back to the main room. Regimental leaders will share. Cindy will tell us what we can sign up for next. It's going to be great. Steve Morrow will come on from the CEC and tell us about some really exciting news from their last meeting of the year, and then we'll close. Anyway, that's the highlights. This is how we look. Joe joining the group, welcome again, makes a current total of 60 volunteers. We are 60 strong. We started and there was about 4 of us, quickly became 13, and look at us today. We do have 3 inactive. The inactives keep moving around. Just thinking of Vicki Loveland, she fell and broke her ankle in 3 places. She's living with her children right now in Connecticut. Diana's facing some health issues and she'll be back, but some other things going on. So, but 60 volunteers, that's just amazing. And I'm very proud of all of you. So here's our volunteer girls. And so if you volunteered, there were 17 LOC reps of that 60, 17 and 18 now because Joe, she just came right on board. And so Bobby and Susan, there they are in their 77 gear. It was too hot for the beanies, so we're not complaining about November being hot. And then our C4 girls with their volunteer backpacks. So congratulations. Just hit the highlights here. If you haven't listened to these, do it. There were 107 viewers already, but I will tell you it's about to blow up because the AOG here wants to use the QOL and the memorial support. Class of 68 is blowing up Sheila. They all want to know how to quilt. So class of 68, and we are just sharing, and class of 68 is shared with us. All right, so that's the big connection news. Jenny, tell us about updates from outreach.
This year, I've sent out 1 condolence note, 5 anniversary notes, and 1 get well card, and I don't log my emails about who I send messages to if there's somebody who needs a pick me up. But that wraps up what my communication was. Sometimes it goes beyond what strictly we set up. I'll get a message from somebody, Pam or somebody on the CEC, that a message needs to be sent out, and I follow those up. Jean, how about you? What do you have to add?
I don't really have anything. Fortunately, we have not had any 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 new widows join our group, so that's a praise. And I don't have anything else to say though.
Well, those are both great things. And thank you so much for all of you do with the outreach. It's such an important part of the LOC. All right, Marianne Durso is inundated with meetings with the QOL. So any news from the QOL, Marianne?
Well, I know that I don't have a date, but I know that Les plans to do a spotlight article. My input to him was November the 1st. So I know he's working on that, coordinating it. So there will eventually be a spotlight article from him. Also, I don't know if any of you saw this, but when I asked him if he had any updates for our group, he did send a 15 November email. And in that, it identified many serious needs within the band of brothers. And there is apparently, I wasn't aware of this, a Zoom prayer meeting at 1900 Eastern Time every Tuesday with members from the classes of 79, 81, 82, 83, and now 77. Les said that perhaps in 2025, the spiritual SMEs might want to have a Zoom for focused weekly or monthly prayers for the classmates and families. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's the 15 November email. And I think it went on for about 5 pages specifying classmates who were in need of prayer. Very serious conditions.
Is this, Marianne, is that the prayer list that Tom sends out? He does that quite often.
It must be. Okay, this
Okay,
is the first time I had seen it.
Yes, okay.
But yes, indeed, it was. In fact, Les had mentioned that it had come from Tom.
Yes.
So, okay, you're all aware. I just wasn't. It was new to me.
I don't know if everybody's aware, but I do see it.
Yeah, we see Tom parents, but we didn't know anything about the prayer meeting at all, Marianne.
And again, I suppose it's related or
To that list.
well, and to the members, apparently members of the classes from 79, 81, 82, 83, and now 77. So every Tuesday at 1900, they have a Zoom prayer meeting. And then Les is thinking that for 2025, the spiritual SMEs might want to get together for a Zoom that would be focused on either weekly or monthly prayers for all the classmates and their family members who are in need.
Okay. Well, thank you, Marianne, for all that you are doing for the QOL, for the ladies of the class, and keeping up with all that information. And it is quite a lot of information, as you've discovered.
Mm-hmm.
But thank
Well, it's fun. It's a pleasure.
Okay. I didn't see Mary Lou sign on. Is Mary Lou Nosco here yet? I hear nothing. Denise, will you run the meeting in Fourth Reg?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so the breakout rooms are open. And if you're not sure, Joe, you're in second reg. And this time I put
No idea what's
reg led by Lynn. Also, Teresa, you're
I double checked. Second
okay,
red.
very good. But you know, you can go anywhere you want.
Well, thank you for making me feel so welcome. But I believe I'm with Lynn tonight.
You are with Lynn.
Yeah. We'll miss you.
Okay, thank
Oh, breakout rooms. What were the dates again? The 4th, the 12th, and the
Oh, all those Sundays. Let me get my calendar. 4, 12, and 19, I think.
5, 12, and 19.
Oh, 5,
Okay.
12, 19. Thank you.
okay.
Yeah, 5, 12, and 19. So just pick one. And you know, I usually run a regiment or 2 regiments, and we do like 15-minute increments, and then we're all on and do breakouts.
Except for
Pam,
Is
some-
there any,
will you please put me in my room because my iPad's being stupid?
Sure, I
Thank
will.
you.
Doing no
All right.
Pam, was there any other information you needed me to ask the Fourth Reg ladies? Just these dates? Is that it?
And what do they have any ideas for
Oh, ideas.
yeah, for the connection series?
Okay.
All right.
Pam,
And
the
how do you
fourth,
get in?
So everybody is almost back. Yeah, there they come flooding in. So I did attendance while you were gone. Shout out to First Reg. You guys are 83% of your total here, 10 out of your 12. Amazing. So hats off to First Reg. So let's just start with First Reg. What do you guys
Okay.
what items did you talk about? What news do you have? And do you have a date for me?
So we have a date for you. We picked January 12th. And then we did a lot of chatting, just catching up. Christine had quite an evening when Hurricane Milton came through Sarasota. And then we talked a little about Thanksgiving and where everybody might be. We weren't coming up with any new ideas for you, unfortunately, Pam, for your connection series, but we'll keep trying.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Jenny, and thank you, First Reg, and appreciate you guys being in strength tonight. Okay, Second Reg, Lynn.
Well, we did a lot of chatting too. We did not come up with a date, any date that, yeah, right, Pam? I get in trouble every time, I know. We didn't have, any date was fine
Okay.
with our group. The only connection I had was with being more involved with the VA, I think a good suggestion would be to have Jean Nosco, the SME for the VA,
Okay.
do a set for us wives so that we geared to us so that we know more about what the VA is all about and that kind of stuff. And then we just chatted about where we're going for Thanksgiving and what we're doing. And
Mary Lou, have you thought about doing a connection series with your flute? What is it? The flute? What is that you do?
I don't think she's here, is she?
No.
She's not here. She's not here today.
Oh,
That would be a good one, Pam.
what? Mary Lou's, are you talking about Mary Lou Nosco's obit writing?
Yeah.
Well, that, yeah.
Okay. You know, I
I
thought,
took her class on obituary writing, and I cannot tell you how it's helped my family out. I would encourage people to take her class. It was a good one.
okay.
It's on Sallyport too, so it's on my list to do that.
That's right.
Sallyport.
Yeah, the whole class is on there, but she could do a snippet about it that might
Ooh.
encourage people to look at that. So that's a great idea. So,
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
all right, anything else from Second? You're on mute, Lynn. You're on trouble for not picking a date, and now you're on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's been a day, all right. So.
Okay. All right. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Thank you, Second Reg. Third, Sheila.
We had a real good discussion, and we decided that probably the 12th. The 5th might be a little bit too soon, And these are all on Sundays, right?
They're all on Sunday afternoon. Yeah.
Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay. They're kind of hard for me, but that's all right because Sundays are always busy with my mom. But the 12th is what we came up with.
Okay.
And we talked about what was going on in our lives. I asked for suggestions on the quilting connection and what people would like to see. I don't know if anybody's really interested in doing these things, but I can certainly, show them how. So we came up with a couple of ideas. We don't know when that date is going to be, but it definitely can't be until after the new year.
Okay.
also, we found out that Karen has shingles now, but she's
Oh.
just now out of the hospital. So
Oh,
we need to send our prayers and thoughts to her.
gosh.
And Desi, her son-in-law's in the hospital again, and prayers for him. Susan is doing a lot of volunteering, as we all do, and she's staying really busy with that. And I know Bobby, we were just, of course, talking about Air Force, and Anna stays busy with her family. It's just a lot of things that we discuss, what our families are doing. And I was kind of complaining about, I'm having a big Christmas party in December, and I have to decorate the house now because I'll be in Tennessee till about 3 days before the party. So I'm like dragging all the Christmas stuff out, and it's not even Thanksgiving, so I'm not happy. But I'm happy now that it's almost done, and I won't have to go to Tennessee and fret about coming home and decorating the house. So anyway, that's all we've been doing.
Well, thank you, Sheila. And, we'll make sure you have our addresses for that invite for that big Christmas party, right?
It's
Zoom.
gonna be the neighborhood. It's gonna be my book club. It's gonna be other friends.
Oh,
Well, then we'll fit right in.
You will fit right in. Yes, you will.
all right. Oh, thank you, Sheila. I'll say fourth reg, and thank you, Denise, for quickly stepping up and leading that.
No problem. No problem. Actually, of the four of us in fourth reg, all the dates were good, except the 12th was not good for me. But maybe I could try.
Okay.
And we didn't come up with any ideas for the connection series. And we just talked about what we're doing for Thanksgiving, and the Woodsons are getting a new puppy this week, and yeah, it's all good. All
What
good.
kind of puppy?
A Maltese. It's not
Maltese.
a puppy. It's a 3-year-old.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carol. A rescue, excuse me.
Oh, how sweet. Good for you.
Yeah. Add it to my zoo.
All right. Well, listen, thank you guys. And I appreciate all the connections you are making with one another and all the support that you are giving the class and all of the LOC. All right. So we are moving into resharing, and Cindy's going to tell us what we can do to have fun.
Okay, Cindy.
So I was a little neglectful this time. I've had some tragedies in my family this week. I had a 48-year-old cousin pass away from breast cancer, and my uncle passed away today. So I've been a little occupied. My cousins have been staying with me, her sisters, and that kind of stuff. So Pam really did the work this month for all of this stuff that you're seeing, not me. My list didn't have the Iceland, Norway cruise on it. It looks like it cut off. So if you don't know it, on September 3rd, 2026, there is an Iceland, Norway cruise being planned on the Norwegian cruise line. That is in Sallyport. Your best bet is to go to Sallyport, because that's where everything shows up.
All right. I'll just go there for you.
Yes, and that's the easiest thing. It actually has all the details of everything on there for you.
Okay.
So I don't see D3 does have a reunion 30 September to 4 October 2025. I'll get George to add that onto there. I'm sure it's probably on the guys event somewhere, but I'll get George to add that onto there for us too, just so it shows up. But yeah, there is a lot of good things coming up. And of course, we have the, in the back of your mind, chuck away those Army Air Force games, because the plan is next year to head out to Colorado. And then the following year would be back at West Point. So it was an absolute blast.
So much fun.
Yes, yes, so much fun. So I highly, highly encourage you to start putting that into your plans. And I would say I really encourage, if we could get more people, the more that do this. I mean, Joe is a perfect example. It's like she didn't know until she came to that Air Force game. And now she knows. And if we can just get these people to come, I think they'll really like it, and it'll just keep growing is what will happen. So I'm excited. And, you know, I do see you guys do Wreath Across America at West Point. If anyone's near, Pam do that. We do that here at our cemetery as well. So that's definitely a great program.
Cindy, where is the list that you have there? Where can I find that?
Okay, the list that I'm holding here is the slide that Pam sent us. Pam sent us the slides, and I always print off the slides. So it's Pam's slide. What Pam is showing you right here is in something called Sallyport. Just ask your husband. He should know how to get on Sallyport.
Well,
And
they were putting my email address in to get me into it, and then I tried, and then it said it was down for maintenance or something. So
okay, I
Keep
always
trying. Keep
I
trying.
always go in through Harry because it's just easier. He just signs on, and then I go explore in it. But where it says ladies of the class, we have a little subtitle. If you just click on that
At the top, right there.
and then it will, all of these things with all the really details that you need
okay,
will pop up on there.
okay, great.
I did send you the address for Sallyport too.
Yes,
In the email. Just have
Right.
Tom get you on there too, but
Yeah, see, and then,
Sallyport's the best place to go. Cindy, are we doing a bike ride next year?
okay, as far as the bike ride goes next year, the Gettysburg battlefield is exhausted. There's nothing more really to do there because they tied our hands so much. They are, because everyone likes doing the bike ride, they're trying to come up with an alternative that maybe they would bike ride at Antietam. And Tom Watson is kind of taking the lead on that. But right now, we don't have any information to put out about that at all.
Okay.
We don't even have a date yet. We've talked around several dates for doing it. Doing it at Antietam, we don't have any restrictions. They don't require a permit. You can do it any time of the year you want. You know, we were limited to all of that when we did it at the Gettysburg battlefield. Literally, we were just limited. Time, date, and location. Everything was limited, but it's
Numbers.
at Antietam. And we're trying to decide if we want to still be based in Gettysburg, because Antietam is only an hour away. So we could be based in Gettysburg, and the guys can just go to Antietam and ride the bike, and we can just stay here and shop, and then we can do other activities in Gettysburg. Or do we want to move the whole thing down? And there's a place called Harper's Ferry that is right by Antietam, and we could just kind of explore that a little bit. So there's just a lot of newness. And I guess my best answer is we're hoping we're doing a bike ride next year, but right now there just isn't any information to put out.
Thanks.
So
Yeah, thank you, Cindy, and thank you for everything you're doing, collecting all of this. And
yeah. Yeah.
Whoops. Okay, well, that's our cue to go, and that was actually Steve Morrow's cue, right? To come on. And Steve, are you here?
Yes.
He is, hang on.
Switching out.
Musical chairs. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Steve.
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 All right. Thanks for inviting us again to report on the class executive committee meeting. And I realize there's so many new faces here from, say, a year or two ago. I'd like to start and just share what is the CEC. And so it's the class governing body. The membership involves the 5 permanent officers who are President Jim Malcolm, Vice President Pete Selleck, I'm Secretary, Treasurer Wes Walters, and Historian Casey Gobertus. Each has an assistant, and then we have the 2 other very hardworking groups, the Band of Brothers, which is Lance Betros and John Shepard, and then of course the LOC with Pam and Diana. So we meet quarterly, and we have routine business that we go through. And then each meeting, there's some exceptional things that we cover. And that's what I typically report on each LOC meeting. So what we have on the screen right here is the agenda we covered last week. And the 3 items that are highlighted are the 3 things that I wanted to briefly mention tonight. Band of Brothers, you may remember last quarter, Lance Betros represented us at your meeting and shared with what they did. And the one thing that's going on under the auspices of the Band of Brothers right now is the emergency outreach to classmate Leo Paulo. Perhaps you've heard he lost his home in the Ventura, California fire. Just there was nothing left. The pictures are heartbreaking. Your husband should have received an email with the announcement and a link to a GoFundMe page that's being run by his D3 classmates. So we're trying to raise $50,000 just to help them through the transition until insurance comes in and things such as that. Down on the 50th gift update, John Shepard and Pete reported that we are nearing our $6 million goal, which is remarkable. Certainly, all of you have been unbelievably generous, but that presents us with a good problem to have. We're likely to exceed our goal. And if we exceed our goal, then we've got to decide what to do with the excess funds. And so there's going to be a class vote. So every member and associate member and honorary member of the class will be voting in December. What do we do if there's excess money? And the gift committee has gone out and come up with 4 options. And we're going to vote on which of the 4 options we would wish to pursue. So don't be surprised if that comes up in your home that there's a class vote about spending more money, but it's if we exceed our goal, then what? And we've got some really great options. And then the final topic I'd like to mention is we made some decisions, some confirmations, if you will, about our 50th reunion in 2027. And the tradition at West Point is that if you are a 50-year class or older, your reunion is in the spring in conjunction with graduation. It's the 45-year and younger that have relative priorities for football weekends in the fall. Pam, can you go to the next slide? So our official reunion will be graduation week. The second bullet there, graduation week for class of 2027. Their graduation is Saturday, May 22nd. Our reunion will be the weekend prior to that from Friday to Tuesday. And that culminates on the Tuesday with the alumni review on the plane. And then all the reunion classes have to leave town so that all the parents can come in beginning Wednesday for the graduation on Saturday. We're likely to stay in one large hotel down the river in Terrytown. At least that's not firm yet, but that's kind of what we're leaning toward. So when we came to this decision, that we will, if you will, conform with the AOG's model of the old grads meeting in the spring. There were some guys and gals that said, hey, we'd really love to have a football weekend. So Pam came up with the brilliant idea of, okay, we can have it all. So the fall of 2026 Army Air Force game is going to be what we did just now and more. And so on Saturday, November 7th, 2026, we're going to have a big fall football weekend that's going to be huge. And we're going to call it our warm-up for the reunion in the following spring.
50th.
So next slide. And then just a reminder, oops, that didn't present right, at least on my screen. But a reminder that the Army Air Force 2025 is in Colorado next year on November 1st. All right, any questions on anything that I covered?
Steve, is the best way to get money to the classmate, the GoFundMe account? Is there a way we could send money directly to Leo somehow, not using the GoFundMe account, or you guys really want us to use that?
Well, that has been asked by others.
Yeah.
To include members of other classes. We've had 2 donations, believe it or not, from the class of 1966, and one member of D3, that's Leo's company, class of 66, donated, and he put the word out to all of his D3 classmates, even though they're 11 years older, senior to us. But their question was, well, we really don't like GoFundMe because there's a layer of fees associated with GoFundMe.
Right.
So we have 3 options.
Okay.
One is to use GoFundMe and be aware that 100% will get to Leo, because we have a generous classmate who's covering all of the fees.
Wow.
So any of the costs or overhead that GoFundMe is charging are going to be covered by a classmate so that Leo can get 100%. The second option is to use Zelle. He does have a Zelle account set up. I can share his phone number. I'll share it with you guys, with Pam, and she can distribute it down. If you prefer Zelle, that would go directly to Leo and Young, his wife. And then the third option is that Terry Daly, who's a D3 classmate, who's the energy behind all of this, he will collect checks and ensure that Leo and Young get 100% of the checks that are written. So Pam, I'll send you the details on those 3 methods, and then you can send them out as you choose.
Yeah, Steve, when you send those details about writing the check to Terry, make sure you include who the check should be written to, please, and Terry's address.
Yes, those are all those details I've already sent out to various groups. Okay, so I'll just copy it to you. It has every detail you just asked for.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You bet.
Perfect.
Thanks for asking.
Steve, back to the graduation week and our 50th reunion. So if I understood you right, we have to leave campus before their actual graduation. Will there be some time during our reunion where we will hook up with those people that, the 2027?
The answer is doubtful. And we say that only because that's a busy time for the class of 27. It's 1 week before their graduation. And as I remember, that was a busy time. So we're not expecting there's going to be quality time with the class of 2027. We're hopeful that there will be some interaction, but it's so far out, we don't have any real fidelity on that yet. We would wish there to be, but I kind of doubt it.
Okay, thanks.
Hence the football game in the fall.
Right.
Yeah, the football game is such a great idea because there'll be firsties, there'll be new firsties that year, and we'll invite them to our parties like we did this year.
Is that the last affiliation as a firstie?
I believe, no, there's 100th night, there's branch night,
Okay.
and 100th night that comes to mind.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Thanks for all you
Thank
do.
you, Steve.
Thank you.
Steve.
Very informative. Thank you.
Okay, and this is what it looked like 2 weekends ago, and there were 22 cadets that came, and your guys paid for their dinner, so every cadet was sponsored by class of 77.
Pam,
Yes.
can some of us tell stories about the cadets that
Oh,
we met that night?
Absolutely.
So I asked the cadet sitting next to me why he chose West Point, and he had 2 older siblings, and it was hard for his family to put those kids through college. So he thought, where can I go that I won't owe any money and I won't be a burden to my family? And he chose West Point. And then the other cadet at our table was an immigrant from Korea 3 years ago and didn't speak English.
Wow.
Incredible kids, incredible kids.
It was, and each class dinner table had cadets at their table, so it was
And they're just fun. They're always fun.
it was really fun, and there's the group of girls that made it all happen, right? We're real proud of our guys and all the cadets. There were 93 at the class dinner, 75 at the tailgate. It was supposed to be there. Another 28 just drifted through, and it was great. And it was just amazing. And there you guys are at our September meeting. And so before we conclude, you know that we have to take our picture and all that good stuff. And okay, and Lynn asked me, Lynn, we're just 2 screens. All right, so but I want to say at the end of 2024, I've been volunteering since I was Girl Scout, but I've never been a part of a powerhouse volunteer group like you guys. And so I'm just really proud to be a part of all of this. And so when they say, you know, we can only have one 50th reunion, well, I know a group. And we can make a really great football weekend. And so, you know, football 50th and as the warm up, and then the official one where the guys get to do all the things that they do, and it is really cool at the weekend before. The parade is really nice and things like that. We will see the guys in the parade, and that's about it. Or that's what has been so far.
And did you say that you maybe the football game November of 2027?
It's
26.
Yeah,
All of 26.
yeah.
Okay.
Our babies will be gone.
All of 26.
Fall of 26.
Yeah, it's actually, we would do the event weekend 6, 7, 8, or maybe even 5, 6, 7, 8. We had some early arrivals this time, and we didn't have anything planned for early arrivals, but we'll make sure that happens this time. And we've done some checking on hotels and stuff like that, see if we can get that. Our Hampton local has 160 rooms, and I'm trying to swindle 100 rooms, so. She gave us 40 at the drop of a hat, so why not?
Ask for the moon, girl. Ask for the moon.
Yeah. All right, guys. Like on 3, we're going to take our pictures, and this is screen 1, and you don't know, so smile both times. 1, 2, 3. And page 2, and you don't know which page you are. 1, 2, 3. All right, listen, and you're so wonderful. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Happy Turkey Day.
Yeah.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll see you, and we'll probably see each other January 12th is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.